Alright, so basically today I'm going to just be talking about the consent to pregnancy, or consent to sex is the consent to pregnancy. And a lot of pro-lifers like to throw that around, and I'm just getting really tired of answering it and talking about it. So basically it's false. It's 100% false. Consent to sex is not the same as consent to pregnancy. You cannot say yes to one thing meaning yes to two things. It does not work. I don't know how many people are actually familiar with the term consent, but basically it means to give permission to something. You cannot possibly give permission to going on level 1 and then assume that that means level 2. That is basically what you're saying right there, is you're assuming, and assumption is not the same as permission. So I have a little bit of an example. Let's say a boy and a girl go out on a date. They had a really good time. He walks her back to her door. Then she decides to invite him upstairs. She says yes to talking and making out. That's it. That's all she really wants to do tonight. It's completely fine. So he proceeds to kind of, push the boundaries a little bit. And if he continues to push those boundaries, that is considered rape. If he forcibly has sex with her without her saying yes, that is rape. And that's essentially what you're angling at when you say consent to sex is consent to pregnancy. He made an assumption, basically. He assumed that yes, because making out generally leads to sex, he can have sex with her. When in reality, she said yes to talking, yes to making out, no to sex. And he's just completely ignored that. So that's basically what pro-life people are doing when they are assuming that consent to sex is consent to pregnancy. You're basically ignoring the fact that the pregnant person probably never said yes to being pregnant. Otherwise, they wouldn't be considering abortion. So that is basically how it goes. Never mind the fact that consent can be revoked at any period of time, but it really, honestly, you cannot assume consent. Also, another problem with this argument is kind of the people who were under false pretenses, as in they took some sort of birth control method, the condoms, the pill, whatever it may be. They very clearly are not consenting to pregnancy. Actively preventing pregnancy is the complete and utter opposite of consent. It's not even you can't even make an assumption at that point. You are not saying yes. And fun fact for the virgins, it doesn't always work. I mean, condoms break, pills don't always perform as they're supposed to. It does not always work. And so assuming still that consent to sex is consent to pregnancy just is a weak argument point. I mean, essentially what you're doing here is saying, it baffles me, saying if you don't want to have a baby, if you don't want to be pregnant, don't have sex. That's like telling girls, if you don't want to get raped, then you should probably not wear low-cut tops. Same exact logic. You can't possibly, one is not saying yet. For example, once again, wearing a low-cut top is not saying, yes, I want to have sex with you. Wearing a low-cut top is saying, yes, I want to wear a low-cut top. Saying, yes, I want to have sex with you is not saying, yes, I want to have a pregnancy with you. It's saying, yes, I want to have sex with you. You don't get to assume, and you don't get to just justify because of what had previously been agreed upon. So, yeah, that's basically what I think about the consent to sex is consent to pregnancy debate point. I think it's just a really redundant and low blow kind of point, and I kind of really hate it. So once again, if you're pro-life and you're here, you now should understand why I sent you here. Basically all my videos, if I send you here, you should understand. And if you're not following me on Tumblr, you should be. My life 3E's 101. I'm on Tumblr, so find me.